Hi guys, Anne-Marie here with the second part of my dies organization video. Might be a little rusty because I have not been doing this for the past few weeks. I've just been focusing on classwork and health stuff, and I've missed this. So I had a day where I could kind of focus on it, and so here I am. So I did not split up my dies videos very well because this one's going to be short compared to the last one. I think the last one was close to an hour, and this one's going to be closer to half an hour. But that's fine. I would have preferred two 45-minute videos, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just me being picky. It doesn't really matter because the way I do these videos is I just run the film with some light editing, so there's no super dead space. But then I back it with music, and I only pop on to talk when I have, something to talk about. So it really, probably doesn't matter because you're either going to be watching this long form while you work on something too, or you're going to be clicking on the timestamps below where I talk. So that's up to you. I'm picking up where I left off in the last video, so I've got a bunch of background stamps that I'm looking at here, and I'm going to be doing embossing folders, and there were some hot foil plates at the very beginning. Basically, this category was a lot of background decorative elements, so stamps, dies, embossing folders, and they're all just going to be going in the same area. So I had some out that I had already, had incorporated into my system, and I was adding this, but I needed to see where the numbers kind of left off. And so I'm just going to go through and sort my embossing folders into other categories, because some of these are very themed and some of them are very just geometric. Some of them have kind of a more whimsical feel or a more elegant feel. And so I'm just going through and kind of loosely categorizing them. They're all really going to go in the same place. They're going to be filed under background, and they're all just going to go in the same kind of area in my storage. But I just like to have them, the similar ones, kind of close together, because a lot of times I'll just grab all of the background things and flip through them until I find something I like for a particular project. So I'm just going to start doing my background labels, and I'm just going to stick these directly onto the outside of the embossing folder. It's easiest and they're thick enough. I don't feel like I have to put these into an envelope. They stand up just fine on their own, and I'd rather not have to deal with any extraneous plastic. So I'm going to shut up for a bit and let some music run, and hopefully you've got something that you're working on too. some Sizzix Thinlits dies, and they're sets. So I went through a few years ago and I kind of broke all my sets down and resorted them just based on what it is. So, for example, one of these sets has cameras and a file folder and a heart and a file tab, and I would have pulled those apart and set everything separately. But I haven't ever used these before, so I decided I wanted to put them into my stash together so I could use them together a few times and then decide if I wanted to keep them or if I wanted to sell them or whatever. And then I could, reorganize them if I needed to. So I'm just putting the label straight on the envelope, and I'm going to keep those together until I use them a few times. And I think I ended up putting those with like journaling. So that was kind of a blip, but I'm back to background dyes, etc. here. So I store my background pieces along with other decorative elements. So border strips are another decorative element. I might end up, I think I do have like two different categories. I have like a background category because I just have so many backgrounds. But I don't have that many borders yet. So I think I filed these under Deco, which is just like a decorative element. Used to, I had my backgrounds in with my decorative elements, but I just realized I did have to separate those out because I just have so many. And I'm kind of working on, I would like to replace my border punches with border dies. I don't know if that's really going to happen, but I'm telling myself it is for storage reasons. And if I do ever get like enough that I feel like I could get rid of my border punches, then I'll probably have a separate category for border dies. Just not there yet. But I really do like these. They're the scrapbook.com, like their store brand of dies. The only thing is that they're longer than my envelopes and my magnet sheets, so they stick off the end there, but it doesn't bother me. They still fit in the basket that I have. They still fit in the cube that my bins are stored in, so it's fine. So now we're kind of back to just random other dies that I had out from other projects or that I just, hadn't got to yet. So I'm trying to figure out where they're going to go so I can figure out how I need to label them. I touched on alphabets a little bit. Yeah. See, those are some that I've already done the last time, but I found another set, so got it incorporated in. And I think I resituated it so it fit in my envelopes, not in a plastic bag. So that is kind of a more cost-effective solution if you aren't wanting to buy the Avery Elle envelopes. I just used zip top plastic bags, and I had the magnet sheets. They were just cut, in a slightly different shape to fit it. And it functioned exactly the same way as the Avery Elle envelopes. It just, was a bit cheaper because it's just Ziplocs from the store. And I don't know what happened to that dye, but it was filthy. So I just used a wet wipe to clean it as best I could, and I made sure to let it dry before I put it back in storage. I don't know if these would rust, but, I wouldn't want them to, so I just made sure to let it dry. I feel like there's a coating on them, so they wouldn't, but I just figured, best not to take any chances. Here you can even see I'm combining stamps and dies into the same pocket. Those were both very coffee themed, and I'm pretty sure that they were a die and stamp set that came together anyway, but I didn't hesitate to do that in other places either, just because, it does save on storage, and if they go together, they go together. So now I am kind of filing, everything away that I've labeled, but I am also going through and kind of double checking to see if there's any dead space or places where I can combine things, or just making sure everything is together the way that I want it to be. And if I find like a totally dead spot, like right there, then I'm seeing what else maybe I can combine with it just to save a little on space. But again, it does still have to fit like within the category. So like this category is icons. So big generic kind of icons like stars and hearts. So that's why it was okay to put them in together. All right, so now it is time to get up my spreadsheet, my stamp index. This is now my kind of everything index or my all of my tools index anyway. So I had already created this for my stamps, but I'm also going to be using it now for my dies. So I just have the categories going across, and I'm a visual person, so I have it color coded. I think I ended up getting rid of like the category and then the label, and I just combined them. I think I wanted to have the full category name because I shortened it a lot on the labels, but come on, I know what it means. So I think I ended up combining those eventually. And then I have the brands for the ones that I know. I'm not super good about tracking that. I used to just never track it because I don't do design team stuff at all. But then I realized, no, sometimes I'm thinking, I want that lawn fawn set, and I can't remember what I filed it under. And so I'd rather be able to search lawn fawn. So I went back and kind of added that. And then anywhere that I feel like, oh, did I change it to dies and stamps and cards? I don't remember if I did that consistently or not. I really think I ended up combining those. Anyway, I'm just going to go in and add in all the stuff that I just filed away. So I'm sitting there, you can't see it because I'm also on the computer, but I was physically going through the files in their bins and comparing it to the index and then just adding in what I needed to add in. So there's the category, there's the brand, there's the theme, or if the set has a specific name, then it goes there. And then anything that is text, so any dies or stamps that are text, that gets typed in a blue box. And if it's an image, it gets typed in a purple box. So I can see at a glance what something is. So if I search, reindeer, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that could be both. Love, maybe, or something. I don't know. But I can see if I have that in text, if I have any like sentiment pun on reindeer, or if I'm looking for a reindeer image, then I can see if I have any stamps or dies that would accomplish that. So that's the quick little overview on my index file here. It really comes in handy. I've used it a lot already. So I'm glad I'm doing it, but man, it's a pain in the butt. And I think I did kind of like peter out on this, and I probably need to finish this. So, maybe someday I'll get it finished. There's sometimes, I sit down and I have the time to scrapbook, but I don't feel like scrapbooking. And that's when I tackle these organizational projects. And so I kind of just follow the dopamine. And if I am really over something, I'll give myself a break on it and just come back and finish it later. And yeah, I think that's probably everything. I'll add a picture here so you can kind of see how my system looks now with everything incorporated. And I finally, got all my buckets matching and all that stuff that doesn't really matter, but kind of does, because these are kind of open. But since they're organized, it doesn't bother me so much that they're just out where everybody can see them. And it's really handy to just be able to grab a bin and dig through it and flip through it. And half the time I use my index because I'm looking for something specific, and half the time I can just grab my system and kind of rifle through it looking for what I want to look for. And I really appreciate being able to use both approaches when I'm creating. So anyway, I think that's it. So thanks so much for watching. Um, I hope to see you soon. I would love to come back and do another weekly wrap up. It's just timing isn't really working for that right now. So hopefully I'll have some more planned videos that I can get out on Mondays. I know I have an ink pad organizational one, and I have a layout and a card process. They're just not edited yet. So hopefully they will be on deck soon. And I hope you're doing well. All right. Bye.